Hey, guys, how are you today? It is Allison from Allison Answers and Logger Counseling Services. I have a guest on today that I hope scares the shit out of you, that he's going to help you find your personal power. He's going to help you find your personal success. He's going to illuminate what keeps you from your greatness, I believe. So I'm excited to share this wonderful man with you. I am really honored to have Bill on the show, to be real with you, because I do believe I noticed that when I'm about to have a guest on the show, it usually aligns with things that I personally and professionally need. So it just, I believe in those synchronicities. I believe that God, the universe, source, infinite love, infinite intelligence is right there to, as long as you're swimming in the stream of well-being, you're going to land where you belong. So I am grateful to have this man who has a wealth of experience and knowledge that if you are willing to face yourself in your life will change. So without any further shenanigans, I'd like you to meet Bill. Bill, welcome.
Hi, Allison. Thank you so much for having me here.
I have a lot of questions. So
I have a lot of simple answers.
I know you do. I did stalk you and I found so many fascinating things about you, and especially the 7 levels of truth. That's something that I would love to talk about. That's a book you've written. And also just the beginning of the story, where you describe being a person who was living a life for about 30 years of misery, and you left your life in order to find yourself, basically. And if you could just explain that, because I'm certain that a lot of people are miserable.
Everybody is.
Yep.
Everyone's walking through life, Allison, with a blindfold on, and they're making decisions based on who they aren't.
Yes.
And this is what's causing the stress and the problems. For me, it's a long story, but I made a conscious choice in the 5th grade to quit and give up and just have fun because of the strictness. And I just didn't fit in. Life made no sense to me. And then I owned my own business when I was 25. I was a millionaire before I was 30. I was broke when I was 32. I couldn't hang on to success because I had no self-worth. Yeah. And what I found, finally, it just got so bad. Almost 30 years ago, I walked away from my life and changed everything but my name. So like somebody said, "Oh, so you're Bill Heinrich .2 now?" I said, "No, I'm Bill Heinrich .25678 because I made that many changes." Right. Yeah. And I just couldn't take it anymore. What I found, the very first thing I found after I did that, it was 2 days after Christmas. There was 4 feet of new snow on the ground. I was at Lake Tahoe in a relationship. She had a child. And I said, "I'm so miserable. I can't take it anymore. I've got to go find out why." This was at 9:30 at night, and I walked out the door. Wow. Of course, she thought I was blaming her, which wasn't the truth. The truth was I needed to find out why I was so miserable. So it was like 2 weeks later, and I was reading Pia Melody's book, Facing Codependence. Right? The smile comes across your face. You obviously very familiar with codependence. And in the first chapter, she had a list of things that would indicate that you're codependent. And my burning bush moment was, as I was reading that list, I noticed that I was defending the people I was rebelling against. And my defensiveness eliminated any possibility of me looking at these questions honestly. And what I saw in that moment, Allison, was my defensiveness, and I was, 45 at the time. My defensiveness kept me in prison for 45 years.
Wow. Yeah.
And you know what the worst part was? I was the warden and I had the keys on my belt.
Yes. Makes sense.
When I got this realization, this is not an exaggeration, I fell on the floor and cried for 2 days.
Wow. I got it.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
It was so, defensiveness is the root of all evil. Period. End of conversation. End of conversation. Defensiveness and backdoor defensiveness.
Mm.
Okay. What's backdoor defensiveness? Backdoor defensiveness is seeking approval.
Mm.
When you seek a, hey, how do you like my new car? I wasn't going to buy it. We were out driving around the other day. We drove by the lot and drove in. They gave me such a great, like, I need your approval that it was okay that I bought a car.
Yeah.
This is what people do all day long.
Yeah.
And what I found, the cause of my misery was my entire life was outside of me.
Yeah.
It was outside of me. There
Yeah.
was nothing in me.
Yes.
So I had to go out. I wandered for 6 months or so until I found Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And
Love
he
it.
actually gave it to me. Some Eskimo, I call them Eskimos, they appear out of nowhere. Hey, you might like this book. And I started reading it and I went, this is it, because there's no doctrine in that book. There's
Yeah.
no doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
So doctrine is something that's created in the physical.
Yes.
Everything about that is connecting to the most powerful force on earth, and that's universal wisdom and universal vibration.
Yes.
So I played with that for 2 years, one law every day, 7 days a week, and observed, and it just, then I learned about life lessons, and when I learned about my life lessons, there's 38 different life lessons passed. If you want to know your life lessons, you give me your birthday, I'll just tell you all about you, like that, everything that you don't see. And
How do
when
you
I
do
read
that?
it, I'm just good. I don't know. It's just,
Okay.
it's like, it's really actually very easy. But anyway, when I saw the life lessons and I saw my life lessons, I went, I'm not crazy. Like, it described me, but what described me was the negative side of the lessons, not
Yeah.
the positive. But
Yeah.
that's me. Now I got something to work with, right? So that's in a nutshell
Yeah.
kind of what got it started. And I've been almost 30 years now, changed. I'm going through another change right now,
Yeah.
conscious change
Yeah.
to move to a different level and to be able to reach more people. So
So how
um
would you describe when I saw your 7 levels of truth and, I saw that there was four pillars that you described. I'm not sure if it was exactly in that part of it, but they were fascinating to me. One of them was the people wearing a blindfold, that, living a life, based on what they aren't, which I think is the majority of the world is automated and they don't even know it. So
mhm.
I would love to hear your feedback on that. And I would love to hear the steps that you describe. I'm not sure if I'm saying it exactly the right way that you have. Yeah.
Well, the 7 levels of truth, um I finished writing that a couple of years ago. It took me 5 years to write it, to be able to put it in a language that people would comprehend.
Yeah.
um I want to back up. 18 years ago, I went to a soul reclamation seminar with a friend of mine down in Scottsdale. I was living over in Phoenix. And I went to this, and at the beginning of this 3-day seminar, Andrea talked about our divine gifts, and then moved on into, when she spoke about our divine gifts, it ignited something in me, and I knew everything about them.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, everything. The next morning, that was on Friday night. The next morning, my partner and I were driving back over there. I was talking about the divine gifts. She said, "Where the hell are you getting that?" She didn't say any of that. Like, I was just, like, I taught these in a previous life. There's no question in my mind.
Yeah.
No question. So here's the 7 levels of truth deals with our chakra and the energies that flow through the chakras.
Mhm.
Now, here's what happens. We're born, we're perfect. Perfect little angel is born. They slap our ass and everything goes downhill from there. And it's all about survival, about everything about physical survival. So you come into life and you have these blind spots because of your life lessons, and you have this extreme influence from your family, right? I mean, you're living in a state of ignorance that has boundaries like this close.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Trying to conform.
Yes.
Rather than putting the boundaries down and being open-minded. Yeah. Right? But we don't have that capacity at that time. So these energies are flowing through us all the time. Like all your divine gifts are inside you right now, but you don't recognize them because of your experience of survival up to this point. The way you know yourself and the energy that you know yourself with is from a survival perspective.
Yes.
I'm able to give people, there's 7 distinct powers, energies that flow through us. It starts with the root chakra, goes to the crown, divine compassion, divine creation, divine order, divine healing, divine authentic self-expression, divine truth, and divine power.
Love it.
Crown.
Yes.
Everybody has these energies. Now, have you ever heard of the snowflake effect, that we're all different?
Yes. Love it.
Okay, this is it.
You're a snowflake, Bill.
It's an energetic difference because we all have the same 7 gifts, but we have them in different proportions. There are billions of combinations.
Yes. Beautiful.
This is your uniqueness, is your energy. So your life purpose, everybody listen to this. Your life purpose is not what you're doing. It's the energy behind every thought, word, and action is your purpose. It's letting go of the physical, letting your energy come in from a place of love for the benefit of all involved, regardless of the outcome.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And these energies, when you don't know them, there's duality in the universe, right? Polarity. There's 2 of everything, right? Temperature, hot and cold, so on and so. There's duality in everything. Well, there's duality in your power, in your energies. And when you're not aware of them, they come out as penalties.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're the things causing stress and overwhelm and so on. Okay. When you are aware of them, let me give you an example. Divine order. Okay. Divine order is an energy that flows through us that when we show up, people can feel the harmony, the balance, the forms, the functionality, the beauty, everything that goes with perfect order and energetic order. Okay. However, when you don't know that you have that power and you have divine order, you will hate it if anyone's upset with you. It'll crush you if somebody's upset with you, or if you're in a situation that isn't orderly. It's like you go into that situation as a hard-boiled egg, and because of the chaos and lack of order in any situation you're in, you come out and your shell's all cracked.
Yeah.
Now, you think it's something else. It's just an energetic value, and you can actually transcend the situation if you stepped into it with your energy of order, if that was one of your primary gifts, as an example. So there's many different factors that come in and block us. But here's the most important thing. We live in 2 dimensions, okay? And they're separated, okay? Not 2, but 2. Why do I say that? We have a physical and a non-physical dimension.
Yep.
The physical dimension is our life on Earth. None of what you see is true. Everything you see is a regurgitation from your past.
Yes.
Everything on Earth is in a state of extreme limitation. Extreme limitation. Interruptions, disruptions. you're trying to do something. You got all these other people with their life lessons, and you got all this other stuff. I mean, it's like, it's amazing that the world runs the way it does based on what I know. The way it runs is pretty amazing, actually, right? So we have a physical and non-physical, okay? The physical dimension is only about defensiveness because you're using your mind and your ego is only going to protect you.
Yeah.
Now, the truth of the matter is there's only two emotions: fear and love.
Yep.
That's it.
100%. Yep.
So fear can only appear in the physical.
Yeah.
There is no fear in the non-physical. In the non-physical, there's only pure potential of vibration and infinite possibilities. That's all that the non-physical is about. It's just, can't even describe it. I mean, the Webb telescope I saw yesterday just took a picture of a Milky Way that's 1 billion light years away. A billion light.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not really sure what a light year is, but I know that light travels at 56,000 feet a second or something like that. Right.
Right.
Crazy. 1 billion light years away. And we sit here on Earth and look, I got it all figured out, man.
Exactly.
The moment you can come over to the non-physical, use language that supports the non-physical, okay? Come from a non-physical perspective of love for the benefit of all involved, regardless of the outcome. Put down your need to be right, all of your defensiveness, and just come in with positive energy and cooperation, and miracles happen all the time. And a miracle is just an unexpected event with a positive outcome. That's all it is.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So everybody's misaligned because we came from a state of pure energy. We went through a massive reduction in birth. I mean, the trauma of that has to be pretty incredible to where we came from and where we're going, which I'm not really sure. Okay. I'm only concerned about, I know there's a heaven and hell, and it's here on earth.
Interesting. Yeah.
And all I'm concerned about is showing people how to tap in to peak potential, showing people how to make choices where they can live in extreme happiness.
Yes.
Without sacrificing success.
Yes. Yes.
Extreme happiness.
Yes.
However, you've got to go through the process of understanding that most of what you've learned about this in the past is not true. Number one, or you need to be in a place of such pain that you can't take it anymore. It's one or the other. And unwillingness is why people change. They're unwilling to live a certain way any longer.
Yeah.
The things I've uncovered in my 30 years, the guidepost tools that I give clients, I don't give anybody assignments. Your assignment is your life lesson. So we're just going to talk about that, right? There's enough to talk about there. Believe me. I'm a business coach, but I never talk business.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't need to talk business. Once you have energetic responsibility, you don't need any help with business. Believe me.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's amazing.
Yes.
Never a question. Never a question. We just talk about the inner game.
Yes.
But it not only does transform you, it transforms your partner, your family, your cohorts, because energy can't be blocked. Let me repeat that. You cannot block energy. What does that mean? That means if I show up and somebody's really angry and they start coming at me from an angry place, I'm going to stay in a place of love, just go, whoa, whoa, love to talk to you, but I don't work in this energy. So take a deep breath, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Because whatever's going on, if they're blaming me about something, it's hilarious because what they're really seeing is what's going on inside of them. And, change the energy. Anybody can say anything they want about me because what they're really talking about is themselves. Right? I mean, the things you see in the world that you hate are the things that are inside you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
So it's it's amazing process. When people go through it, it's amazing, because once I'm an expert at getting people clarity on everything blocking them, I've created something called the challenge wheel, and I use it
Yeah.
following energy. And I can sit with a client for an hour, take them through an assessment. I'll come up with 40 or 40, I'll show them 40 or 45 things that are going on in their life that's creating chaos from them. I'm getting it directly
Yeah.
from them. Okay. I'm not
Would you,
making anything up.
yeah. Would you be able to, I'm not sure of the process, but would you be able to describe like an example? Because I know so much of the things that you're talking about, Bill, because I remember when I
Okay.
read things about
I'll,
Deepak Chopra, like
mhm.
I was like, when I first did it, I was like, oh my God, nothing's real. And I was so scared. I really was. Remember you said it's going to scare people, but I feel like, now I understand it. But at first it's like, oh my goodness, like the earth isn't the only telling of this 3D world, isn't right. So I want
What,
people
let
to
me
be
tell
able
you
to
what, but let me tell you
understand.
what, yeah, let me
Yeah.
tell you what scared you.
Yeah.
And I have seen this. I've been working with CEOs, executives,
Yeah.
15 years all over the world. Okay. Marianne Williamson's
Ah,
missive about our deepest fear.
yes.
Our deepest fear isn't that we're inadequate.
Mhm.
Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. And
It's
the
crazy.
moment, and it scares the hell out of everybody. That's how powerful we are. There is absolutely no question in my mind. It scares me
Yes.
because the power is just amazing. Anything, you can create anything.
I'm such on this path. You have no idea. So I spend my morning creating. This is what I do. So I'm just so how would you explain this? How would you take someone who doesn't understand this? And maybe you wouldn't because it's such a big jump. Let's say someone's in this
I wouldn't,
miserable place. Like let's say where you were, like you were like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
what do I do?"
Listen, people are afraid to leave what they know.
Yeah, of course. Mhm.
My God, what will it be like? What would happen? And so they just dig in deeper into their stories and continue their suffering. I
Yeah.
see this all the time,
Yes.
all the time. My work and these things are so powerful, Allison, that when somebody works with me, okay, pay attention to this. I give a 100% money back success guarantee. Let me repeat that. When I take somebody through and show them their purpose and how to start having that show up in life, I give a 100% success guarantee.
Mm.
That's how powerful what I've uncovered is.
Mhm.
Now, let me tell you why I give the guarantee. It's not for the client, it is for me. It's for me.
Yeah.
Because if you have any resistance or kickback, I'm crediting you your money and I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to apologize to you and tell you that I didn't explain things properly and send you down the road to do something. Because I'm not here to convince anybody. I don't need to
No,
convince you.
no, no.
There's no convincing going on this one. You know, if you want to continue with your life the way it is, great. You're right where you're supposed to be. No problem. However, people come to me and I have touched millions of lives because of the work that I do. Because when someone understands their purpose, they take that energy out into their workplace and these other, I've been doing this 15 years
Mhm.
and it transcends everything.
Yeah. Mhm.
It transcends everything. But you've got to be committed to really want to understand what it feels like to live abundant, fulfilled, free, and joyful.
Yes.
Like you've got to be committed to that.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
and it isn't out here.
Right.
It isn't in the physical. It can't happen.
I do a practice, which I know you know this because this is probably part of what you're doing, I'm imagining. But what I do is I create the life that I want within me. and I experience it emotionally, just within myself.
That's the key.
I make it happen internally, and then I don't need it externally. And then just all those things come to me anyhow, but I really don't need them anymore because I already have them inside. So that's like the simplest way that I could put, but it's me just sitting there and it's funny.
Well, that's the shortest explanation of manifestation I've ever heard.
Well, yeah, because it's just basically and the more I think what you practice, you get good at. So like I just practice and just imagine and just let my childhood imagination create, these wonderful experiences that really bring so much satisfaction to me.
And that's how you manifest.
Yeah.
Because what you do is you go into an embodiment of the energy. And it's the energy that attracts those things into you.
Yeah.
It's not when you want something, everybody listen, wanting is a state of being.
Yes.
Wanting is a state of being. Why would you want something when you can just manifest it?
You know
you
what?
can just create it.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's weird. It's like we're so dependent on this 3D world that's the only way we can understand having it. But you could actually have it whenever it comes, you don't care anymore. Right? Once you have it inside. I tell people who work here, I say, whatever job you want here, just be it. Be that. And you'll have it. Just be it. And my receptionist now runs the whole business. So it's just because she just did that. Right? So it's like we have this unbelievable power that is so exciting to live, isn't it? It's exciting.
I could tell you so many stories.
Dude, tell us.
with clients. I just in my group coaching now, I've got a 24-year-old gentleman who just got married a year ago. Actually, it was during COVID he got married. They got married on the front lawn and everybody drove by and waved. But just starting out in the financial services business, 24 years old. He's in my group coaching. He didn't talk to me and he didn't tell anybody in the group, but he took the guideposts that I gave and without any money went and bought a house for him and his wife. Yeah. Because he was attached. He went to get a mortgage and he got shot down so fast because, that's nothing. He's just starting out. And he went back to the owner and said, here are the options. I don't know. This is one way I could buy the house, or you can just sell it, or you can do this, or you can do that. I wanted to lay the options out for you. You take a look at them. Whatever you choose will be perfect. Don't worry about it. She said, thank you. She called him the next day and said, I want to sell the house to you.
Love it. Love it.
Love right? It.
Yes. Yes. I knock on doors when I want things.
Just the possibility. It's the possibility of creation. And if he didn't get that house, the reason he wouldn't have gotten it is because something better would have been coming.
Yes. Yes.
That's the way the universe works.
Yes. Because I wonder, it seems that most of us believe that this is a hostile world and that it's not, and maybe this particular world is the planet, but in terms of what is available to us is just multiplication and goodness and divine love. There's just so much available. But we're just not taught that. We have to come out of our programming.
If you see the world as hostile, then you're hostile inside.
Exactly.
Right?
Defensive.
There's only one thing wrong with the universe. Did you know that?
Tell us. What is it?
What would you think it would be? There's one thing that's wrong with it.
That we don't understand it?
Your perception of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
That's the only thing wrong. The universe is
just how we see it. Yeah.
It's just how you see it.
Yep.
And now this, I love, they call this new age, that it's been around for thousands of years, right?
Yes.
And all of this that I teach is scientifically proven.
Yes.
Okay, there's no woo-woo here. This is scientifically proven.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Scientifically proven. So it isn't about, oh, come do this meditation with me and we'll go off to some wonderful meadow and we'll blah, 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 blah. It's about living a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah.
You know, this one client said to me, so what will it be like? There's no way I can describe it to you. You do not have the capacity to understand, is the answer.
Yeah.
They don't, because they're so here, there. I see it. Nobody can come to me with a problem I can't solve. Okay, simply. No, it's impossible. It's impossible. I can show them how to solve it very simply.
No, it's interesting. I feel like we've bought the biggest lie, many lies, but the lie of mediocrity, that we're just taught to live small. And that whole concept of woo-woo, I feel like we've been it's been showcased as people who are flighty and all of that, and has not been showcased as the most incredible wisdom and intelligence and scientifically proven. So it's been rejected. And do you think it's because people are afraid of their greatness, or it's easier to follow a crowd? Yeah. What do you think?
Well, in our physical dimension, it's all about how others can use manipulation and control on us. Well, you go over the I don't participate in it. When you're in the non-physical, the physical, it's all about manipulation. I need to get this so I can eat. It's all about survival, and anything that is outside the norms of what I refer to as social policing. You're a little weird then, right? But it's all free. Anybody can have it anywhere in the world, regardless of race, creed, or color. You just need to know where to look.
So where would you tell them to look?
I would tell them to look first at what's bothering them the most.
That's good.
And get an idea of what the flip side of that would look like, because there's duality in the universe. Yes. So if somebody has like really serious financial trouble, right? I'm going, yeah, that's cool. You know why? Because when we solve this, do you know what the other side of that is?
Yes.
In duality?
Yes.
That kind of income.
Yeah.
It has to be, because it's all energetic, right?
Yeah.
It's all energetic. So just look at, first and foremost, defensiveness.
Yeah.
Secondly, your mind is your enemy. It's your enemy. It's there to help you do a task, and that's it. But it's always going to protect you. So it's going to put you in a defensive position immediately. Your heart just wants to share love. And that all comes from the non-physical.
Yes.
And when you can start learning to detach and see that not only do you not lose anything, you gain everything. Right? When you go to thriving and you leave surviving. But remember, there's two emotions, love and fear. Fear knocked on the door and love answered, but no one was there. They can't coexist.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that. Love and fear cannot coexist.
Yeah. I get that.
It's not possible. The other thing is your mind, which I think is our enemies. It's impossible for your mind to come to the present moment. It's impossible. You can bring your heart in and we can be connected right like we are right now, Allison, but we aren't thinking about anything. We're just going with the flow and following the energy, right? So just be there to serve. You got love and fear. One is run by the heart, one is run by the head. Now, all of you have been living from your head, and I know you're suffering because I've been doing this a long time. Check out some of these things we're talking about, because this isn't true. This is your birthright. It's literally your birthright.
I think about that because we discussed off when we weren't recording about defensiveness. That was one of the things I heard you talk about that really drew me in also. And I feel that with defensiveness, at the heart is fear, right? So whenever, I feel anything, judgment, or feel like I have to protect myself or anything like that, ultimately I'm afraid of not being loved. I'm afraid of or of being rejected or being thought badly of all these variables that feel like a threat, right? To me, I feel like
And you want to know something? All of
yeah.
those things are going to happen
Yes.
because you know why?
Tell
Because
us.
you don't have love inside of you. You're
Mm,
looking for it outside of you.
exactly. Yes, I hear that. I hear you. It's
And the
mhm.
more you learn to just love and accept yourself, what, put yourself first always. This is not selfish. This is self-love.
I'm
It is
laughing.
self-love.
I'm laughing because I'm always like posting happiness isn't a sin, like loving yourself isn't selfish. I mean, it's the most giving thing you could ever do because when you show up and you love yourself, you love everyone. You can't
You can't give
even
away what you haven't got.
exactly. When you feel love for yourself, you just want to give, you want to contribute, you want to hug, whatever, right?
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
and we're just so
But when you
conditioned.
feel it,
Mhm.
when you have this love and you come from an energetic place, you're open to hugging in those things, but you don't need it.
Right. Mhm.
It's
Yes.
something that most people need in the physical because they feel so deprived,
Mm. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and so they're just playing this game and, doing their thing.
What would you say about this? This is something I'm interested in that I'm like working on and experimenting with because I think it's cool. So like, when you're manifesting and you're watching like the manifestation, like the creation um expand, like get better and better
Mhm,
and better.
mhm.
So it's like so then you have this polarity where it's like something negative, so then you're like, oh wow, thank you for being here, this negative experience that has shown me this. Now I'm shifting my perspective toward this fantastic, what I really desire, right? So what I had never thought of it this way until just recently, that I think that's why we're here now, is because this concept of that it's all this adventurous, joyous process of getting to the higher good, like just continuing to go. So I'm not sure if so like, for example, if you want a certain kind of experience, but then you have all of it except for this one large part. And then you're like, well, what happened? And then you're like, well, oh, because I didn't feel
Oh, well,
worthy of that part that wasn't
the
there.
definition of disappointment is when expectations meet reality. So
Mm,
what you're referring to is an expectation. When you're
yeah.
manifesting something, okay, you embody the energy. You put yourself in what it will feel like when it's accomplished,
Yes.
and you give that as much energy as you can. Now you're talking about it expanding. The reason it expands is because once you put yourself there, as you continue to do it, you then get more clarity. There's your
Yeah.
expansion. As you get clarity, there's expansion. In fact, I have a free book I'm going to give to everybody. It's called Clarity Has No Story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clarity has no story. Clarity
So
is
you go
clarity.
to that place, right? So you go to that place and then you're not going to experience the reality of this or whatever that is until
No, we
it's
don't care what
clear.
it looks like.
Right. Hmm.
If you're looking at what it's going to look like, you're in trouble.
Got it. Yeah. It
Now,
has
if
to be not predictable, right?
right, it's like, you know, I'm going to manifest a car. It's going to be a convertible. It's going to have this. I can just the wind. The top is down. The wind is going through my hair. I'm driving down the road. It's like it feels like me, and it's just gosh, it's just so juicy good, and all that energy is going out and creating those possibilities right now, right?
But isn't that the physical right there? But if you were say feeling it in here,
No, no, I'm only speaking about energy,
yeah.
and
Okay.
I was only speaking because I'm on a podcast. See,
Okay.
I would do it. It would be a meditation. I would go in
Yeah.
and just go as deeply into the feelings of what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Right.
Because the universe, pay attention, must deliver. It has no choice. Let me repeat that. It's impossible for the universe to say no. Impossible. You're the one that says no.
And that's why so many people have misery, because they are calling so many negative things into their life, right?
Look, where your attention goes, you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
pretty much that simple. So in the universe, it can't say no. You can manifest anything you desire. It does say no, K-N-O-W.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the universe knows is from your vibration.
Mm.
Your vibration is your pathway connection to all universal wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment your energetic foundation can support the manifestation, it lands in your lap.
Mm.
You've demonstrated that you're responsible enough, and that you can just have it. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. So like, what would you like, how would you describe to anyone who's listening who feels like defensive? I love your, I don't know if it's simple for you to explain your challenge wheel at all, or if it, it says uncover, discover, discard. Like, I think that's cool. And I'm thinking it has to do with, like your blind spots or the stories that we tell ourselves, but I'm not exactly sure what your challenge wheel is. Is it simple for you to describe?
It's like this. Let me
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. What's one thing that's upsetting to you right now?
Me, what's upsetting me?
Yeah.
Oh, I could tell you that, I feel like I have a, a lot of things to do that require me as the end, the last decision, the
Ooh.
last buck. I have a lot of employees. I have a lot of, we're moving locations. I just had to
Okay.
put my dog to sleep, the varieties of external life that, so I'm finding myself having to like really go in and just go, meditate and just try to
So
stay.
how does all of this make you feel? Are you anxious,
I
stressed
would say
out,
I would
overwhelmed?
say anxious. I would say
So
well,
okay.
the word I would say is
So
fear. Of
okay.
course, like fear.
Um no, there's fear in there, but there's something else, because you've taken your company to this point now.
Mm-hmm.
You have already proven you have the capability to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some story inside of you that's making you question yourself. What would the story be?
Oh, well, I know basically that, my whole life, and I've been pushing past it. I actually, in my book, I talk about this whole thing where basically my whole life I've been driven, and I can go so far, but because of the circumstances of my childhood, I always felt that I could get that far, but I would never be the girl who would get that
Right,
princess bedroom. I would never be
right,
her. So it's
right.
like so I see that as, so it's like, like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, people are like, will be like, oh my God, you're amazing, or whatever. Or I'll get so far somewhere, and then it'll just be, I know that I create it so that I'm not the, whatever, that it's not going to
Yeah.
be me.
And
Right.
and so right. So you have this anxiety, okay? How does that affect your when you have to make choices for your business? Is it supportive or not?
Oh, you mean when that fear is there? I would say that it I'm trying not to actively outside of myself do it, but I would say my reaction would be feeling protective of myself, defensive,
Mhm.
like maybe
Mhm.
somebody wants to hurt me, or
Mhm.
like,
Mhm. Mhm.
doesn't have my best
When
interest
none of
at
that
heart.
is true,
Right. Exactly. I've the best
and
team
none
in
of
the
that is true.
world. Like, they're so good.
So you just
Yes.
take that anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
put one line at 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and find four other areas of your life where that's affecting you.
I could find like 35.
Yes.
Yeah, you want only 4?
Now, wait, there.
It's,
That's energy. See,
yes,
that's the energy.
yes,
All of these things have toxins.
yes.
So what's cool, the moment that happens, Allison, you say out loud, thank you. I remember that, but we're writing a different story now.
Yeah.
And you grab that little girl by the hand, and we're going to make the princess bedroom show up.
Yes.
Let's just let it happen.
Yes. Yes. You know, it's so powerful. It's amazing, even when you know it. Like, you know, it's there, and it's so powerful, like so quick, you know, to feel that. I think just my body having memory of it or whatever, just it's
Oh,
so.
it's cellular. Yeah, no, it's anything that ever enters the system never leaves it.
Yes.
It
Yes.
never leaves it.
Mm.
Now, people are always saying, these issues, and no, I took care of all the issues with my father, got that handled. And I look at him and laugh and go,
No.
it's running your life today and you don't know it.
Yeah.
And they're, what do you mean? I took care of it. I said, no, you didn't. Believe me, it's inside you running your life, and your life's out of control right now. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Because people don't want to go get those. We want to look at those issues with gratitude.
yeah.
They helped you survive. And now you're at a point where you can go into expansion and have a different life that'll blow your mind. All of those things, all of the misery, all of the absolutely crazy things I did. Nuts, right? I didn't care. I always owned my own business. It was, it was pretty crazy. All of them. I'm so grateful for everyone today.
Yep.
Because there's nothing you can tell me about pain and suffering that I can't connect with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's my connection with you in the pain and suffering that creates all of my credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Not what I do. It's you go, this guy knows his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if anybody can show me the path out, he can. That's all people want to hear.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
So those things behind you, go love them and say thank you. Say, by the way, you got the day off today.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need you today. So you just go over there and sit down and relax.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then flip the switch. Boom. And when you do, it all happens like that.
Wouldn't you say it's like, or I should say, do you think it's just, I feel like truth is so powerful. So it's like it's a pathway for freedom, like just being able to see it, and being aware of it in the moment that you're in.
Well, there's only one truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you feel. Vibration. Nothing else is true. Everything else is a perception of your past experience. Everything. And you're standing with a group, everybody's seeing something different.
Exactly. Right. I know, it's
and
crazy.
You all get together and talk about it. And intellectually, you all want to get accepted. And instead of somebody saying, like, that made no sense to me whatsoever. And being able to say that and knowing it's okay to say that because somebody will support you and help you have more clarity regarding it. But that's what happens. It's just everybody. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. What are you doing? Oh, we're going to Vegas again. Go out. Clark County, Nevada brings in over $1 billion a month in casino winnings.
Oh, God. Shit.
Now, put a calculator to that. Let's just say everybody lost $1,000. It's mind-boggling. This is avoidance from what we're talking about.
You mean like the gambling, and is that what you mean? I mean, gambling to
Sex,
me is
drugs,
one of the
gambling,
worst.
clothes.
Yeah.
I go work on and on and on and on. Right? They're all avoidance. And you don't know what else to do.
How would you reconcile this, there's this scripture in the Bible, being too heavenly minded for no earthly good. Now, I don't really necessarily, I'm not ascribing to that exact idea. I'm just saying, like, how, like, being able to, I feel like
What is
being
that
on
actually
this,
saying?
I mean, I shouldn't even have said that scripture because it's not even exactly what I mean. It's almost like
Well,
being on
actually
this
it is,
earth, like,
because
I
you
love
referred to that.
clothes. I love
You
clothes.
ref
And I
Yeah, but you
love,
referred to that, yeah, you referred to that scripture earlier.
it's almost like the idea that I feel like living here is also like it's like missional. It's also like a blessing. It's like we're creating by being here. So, like, I feel like part of like my artistic part of me, even though it was distorted from, because my mom was like a hippie and never like, I thought she was messy and didn't like look great or whatever. So now, like, I went the other way and like wanted to be glamorous, but I also think it was part of
No, no, no. You know what that
being my
is?
gift too, that I love creating and I love art and I love
You,
beauty.
you, you definitely, you're describing divine order,
Hmm.
because not only do things have to function beautifully, they have to look beautiful.
I think so. I needed to
No, you
hear
don't.
that.
No, 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 no. You breathe that. You don't think that. You breathe it.
I'm
Get that.
desperate for
This is very
order.
important. Do you get what I just said?
I think so. Tell me. I feel so. I breathe so.
You
Tell me.
you breathe it.
You mean like like
This
breathing
this
order?
is you.
Yeah.
This is you. You
Yeah.
don't think it. This isn't an intellectual choice. This is feeding your soul. And
Totally.
without it,
Yes.
okay, like you would hate it if people are upset with you, number one.
I would.
Yeah, this
But I
divine
get
order.
over it. I like
Well, I
order.
understand that. But right. But if you go into a situation where there's chaos and stuff going on, it's like you go in, you're like a hard boiled egg, and you come out and your shell's all cracked
Yeah, I like,
energetically. But
yeah.
that's your divine order. Now, in those situations, bring the energy of your order to it
Mm, yes.
and watch what happens. The energy of your order. Put
Yes.
that energy behind every word, thought, and action, and watch what everybody does. It'll go.
Do you think that the reason that because I think I'm following this, I'm curious about this. Do you think so? I love organization. I'm desperate for it. Like, I love it so
Yeah.
much.
So
Like, it's
first
like
of
I'm
all,
passionate about it. Yeah. But
right,
then,
right.
but when there isn't order, which I end up not having order, and that's where I get anxious, and because there's too
It
much.
would drive you. It would drive you nuts.
Does. Yes. So, but
Because, but what drives you nuts? You see, you think it's up here, but it's here. It's the energy of the situation that's disturbing to you.
yeah.
It's
Hmm.
how you feel about it.
Yeah. True.
You're not making it. You're not making it. My house is going to be clean. You must keep your office. It isn't that. It's like inside, you're just, ooh,
Yes.
like this is not good, right? Because you react to it energetically. This is why people's lives are out of control. They don't understand they have these energies and they're creating that. And when you understand more about the energies, Allison, you then flip it and bring the energy in and transcend the situation, and it'll transcend it like that.
Yeah. Instead of being like beating yourself up. So let's say you have a pile of papers, and like I do over here to my left. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, and I
You
just,
want to see mine?
good,
I've got
yes,
them
because it
too.
makes me feel better. But so it's like, but are you saying that it's like this? I breathe that, and I believe it's a good thing. But then the part of me that sees it
It's
feels
you,
bad
dear.
about myself that I have that. You know what I mean? That if I have a part of a pile of papers. So then if I feel
What
bad about
what you
myself,
want to what you want to look at, your energy is out of alignment with this. I can tell you that right
yeah,
now. Okay.
100%.
There's duality. Okay. So bring the order. Balance is the line we cross when we go from one extreme to the other. Try and move it back into the center. Say,
Mhm.
no, that's okay. In fact, I'm going to just love that the way it is for a day. It's cool with me. I'm going to allow it
Yeah.
just today. I'll clean it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just get but that's part of expansion. You're manifesting, you're living in expansion. There's things coming at you, there's possibilities, opportunities, everything coming from every side all the time. That's what happens when you live this way.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the potential is just hilarious. And I don't even care about it because I know what's going to show up is supposed to show up. So it really doesn't matter,
good.
right?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody, these 7 divine gifts, what I found is 3 of the gifts will make up about 80% of your purpose.
Hmm.
And we all have the same 7 gifts, but we have them in different proportions. So there's other things feeding into that feeling with divine order because there's billions of combinations. They're pretty simple to figure out. Once I have somebody's DNA, we just look at, oh yeah, it's that, and everything changes. But it's an energetic equation. People will never remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Yes, it's true.
We've known that for hundreds of years, yet we ignore. I mean, that's a very powerful message.
It is. What do you think makes us ignore that?
Fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Fear of stepping into an area that you're not going to be able to explain to your neighbors. Fear, maybe the biggest fear, is the acknowledgement that might be right and what I'm doing is wrong.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I'm doing is wrong. I won't, but I'll tell you this. Everybody watching this, your life is out of control and mine is too. And until you get that, your life is completely out of control. You do not know the day you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. So if you stay in the present moment, focus on energy, you just in the present moment, the present moment, the present moment.
You know what? It's interesting because right before you said that, the words that were coming in my I was breathing. I wasn't thinking them.
Yeah.
But they were,
do you feel the difference in that ownership?
I love it. Yes. And I'm going to
do you see the difference?
Yeah, I do.
This isn't a choice. This is you.
Because it's like breathing. It's like here. It's like
yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's energy.
Instead of here, my eyes, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So go ahead. I interrupted
Yeah.
you.
So it's like, I feel like what was going on inside of me was, it's all an illusion of control. Like we have this illusion that we're living in of this control. If we stay the same as everyone else, if we're, afraid of all these things, or if we don't do this or that, but the expansion, the unknown, always be a novice, always be willing to, that's where excitement and adventure and life is, isn't it? Like where we don't know, like to be willing to not paint, so I paint my desires inside, like this imagination, right? And then you just let it go and open your heart, right? Open your whole being, right? Now what shows up can just be excitement. It could be just, but I think, I can say that, I believe that, but I must not fully believe it, because am I doing it every day? No, I'm worried about, oh my God,
you're not going to
take care
either.
of the puppy when I'm at work? What am I going to do? That.
But you have to remember, okay?
Yes.
We are in the midst of a physical experience.
Yeah.
And you want to accept it and enjoy it for what it is. And the best part of that experience are our emotions. People don't even know what their greatest asset is. Like, what's your greatest asset?
You want to know what I think it is? Enthusiasm.
No, absolutely not.
Well, you're talking about my greatest asset in terms of what what I could have, like my asset is infinite intelligence, infinite love. What I could,
free will and choice.
Oh, yes. That is a good one. Yeah, that's good.
We're the only ones in the universe with that.
Yes, good.
And we don't use it.
I know.
Or most people don't.
Yes. creative power. That's where our choice is.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like we have a choice every moment, which direction, which stream we want to
Every
swim
moment.
in.
Now, let me point something out. The
Yes.
first thing I teach all of my clients is to never make another decision, ever.
Okay,
They're
tell me
forbidden.
about it. Tell me. Let's hear.
Because when you make a decision,
Yeah.
the Latin root word of that is final.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with stress and overwhelm.
Hmm.
Everybody looks at decisions as final. Just make a choice.
Choice. Yeah.
Not
So,
decision, choice. Because when you make a choice, now you're being responsible. You're saying, I own this. I own everything in my life. Anything that comes in my life, I own. You know why that is? I don't care what it is. I got rear-ended 15 years ago. And I'm like, how did I call that into my life? What's the lesson here? What's going on? Right? It's, we all have lessons to learn. And if we don't take responsibility, we end up being accountable. And when we're accountable, the only thing you can be is a victim.
hmm.
With accountability, you're creating something that's going to be subject to another person's approval. With responsibility, you're saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. Okay, let me get clear on what you want, get the clarity, and you're coming equally because you're being responsible. The energy behind accountability and responsibility are at different ends of the spectrum.
Can you help me understand that better? Because I so want to know, I want to understand it better. And I don't know why it's not processing well. I need an aha. So like
Well,
if I have to make a choice, like I had to, I mean, I'm not trying to be a
no,
boohoo.
wait just a second. Wait just a
Go
second.
ahead.
You
Sure.
never have to make a choice.
I know. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Watch your language. Yeah.
I agree with you. Thank you.
When I'm looking for clarity.
Yeah. I thought I had to make a choice, but so now I'm not trying to be boo-hoo about it. I just want to, this is just like a choice I had. Oh, I don't want to say had a choice I made yesterday. So I had a dog for 17 years and I made the choice because of her extreme pain to euthanize her yesterday. So the reason I'm saying
sorry
this,
to hear that.
no, I thank you so much. And I'm not trying to say it to be like, to bring like
No,
sadness, it was a big thing. Yeah.
You know what dogs are?
Tell me.
They're a representation of unconditional love.
They are. I had 5. I have 4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You got love all around you.
I love them. But anyhow, so this baby, I had to, I didn't have to, I chose to. And so in that regard, I just want to be able to understand accountability, responsibility. So I was a responsible mom to this dog, right? Where I felt that it was best for her, to, go and twinkle in the stars wherever she was going, right? So that was my, it was a
choice.
Now I'm thinking decision. So could you just tell me what you mean?
It's a choice.
Yeah, I just want to understand accountability, responsibility, just from your perspective, because I know it's wise and it's not going in.
Okay. When you're accountable to someone, they get to set everything. They control everything. You have no power.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
You have no power. You're a victim.
I got it.
When you're responsible, the first thing, when this person who used to make you accountable comes to you, be equal and get clarity and watch how they respond. They'll just be, oh, this is great. They'll just love it. Just be responsible. Say, I'm choosing to do this. I'm taking this responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? You get the clarity you need to complete it in a way that it's going to be done satisfactorily, or it's going to move you to a new level of clarity. But what everybody does is they see themselves, gosh, I hate this job, but I got to make my car payment. It's like And so
I
they,
don't.
they lay down and become the doormat.
Yeah.
And that's the way they spend their life, because they're just accountable. I'm accountable. I'm a good person. It's okay. Good. You pay your bills, but are you happy? No. Okay. When you're responsible, you own everything in your life. Nothing can come in your life that you don't take responsibility for energetically.
Yeah, and
Nothing.
you're okay with being not what somebody wants, or even whatever mistakes. You're okay because you know that you chose that. Like it's like ownership. Yeah, like it's mine. Like I did
Completely.
it. Yeah, that's what I get that, because that's like a big, to me, ownership is truth, right?
No.
I knew you were going to say no. All right, what is it? And I know that we have
The
to go. I do know
the
that.
the,
I'm going to
the
own
only
it.
truth the only truth is how you feel.
I believe that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Being responsible, okay, gives you freedom. You have total freedom.
One of a very free thing for me, I don't know if this is aligned with what you're talking about, but it was just such a great move on my end where I just made a choice. I was going to say decision. I made a choice that I was no longer I was going to accept this. I omitted from my vocabulary right and wrong, but if we were going to use the
Oh
quote
yeah.
unquote,
There's no such thing. There's
I
no such
love
thing.
not having that. But if I was going to like quote unquote like wrong, I embrace that. Like, okay, yes, I did,
Wrong
I
is
didn't,
great.
I should not, whatever. This, I just
No.
own, like I own that, and I don't beat myself up for it. I feel like that is such freedom. Is that what it's kind of
When
what you
you're
mean in a way?
when you're what you call wrong, you're in a search for clarity.
Mm, yes.
Everything is a search for clarity in the physical.
Oh, I
Everything.
need clarity so bad.
Everything's a search for you. You'll never have it. You can only
Yes.
have this present moment.
Yeah. Mm.
Here's clarity, this connection, the love we're sharing, the information we're sharing in this present moment for the benefit of all who listen to this.
There is nothing like the present moment.
Nothing.
It's like magic. It's
Yeah.
so good.
And if you're fearful, then you're in the past. I have a
Um,
giveaway for everybody. I have a
yes,
free book. It's
yes.
called Clarity Has No Story.
Mhm.
And they can get it at myfreebook.me. Myfreebook.me. It's all about me. Myfreebook.me.
I almost
And
clicked on it, but I was running out of time.
and
Myfreebook.com.
no, .me.
.me. Okay, .me.
Myfreebook.me. M-E.
Love it.
My other book, The 7 Levels of Truth, a direct path to your life purpose, is available on Amazon. And that's everything I do in my coaching business. If somebody's listening to this and they want to like do a 20-minute clarity session and see if they're ready for a journey like that, just go to speaktobill.com and you can get on my calendar with a 20-minute clarity session. And the purpose of the clarity session is to see whether or not you have the capacity to handle it. Because when you work with a vibration, it's just whoop, you're right there, right? And so there's no stories. It's very direct. It moves very fast and everything opens up so quickly. It's crazy.
Enough of the stories.
Oh, the stories. But as a coach and understanding energy, I can take someone literally through 10 years of therapy in 6 months.
Oh, no, I believe that. And I think that that's the way it should be
Like
done.
that.
I think it should be done
Yeah,
that way.
like that.
Like we waste a lot of time. I mean, honestly, I'm all about getting right to it, and I want my people to also, but I hear you. Yeah. So listen, so we're going to have all of your stuff in the show notes, but I would love to know. First of all, I want to thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your
I'd love this.
wisdom. So what would you like? Is there anything else you'd like people to know? Any last thing you'd like to say to listeners?
Well, be open-minded. Everything we're talking about is free, FREE, and all the resources are there. They're very easy to find, very easy. I can't tell you where to go because everybody's different and you need to find your thing, right? But come from love, stop defensiveness, and your life will change so fast it'll blow your mind. I mean, it's
just that right
remember,
there, just that,
yeah,
knowing when you're defensive and stopping it, that's like,
yeah,
will change your entire life.
yeah,
Like, what are you
yeah.
protecting?
Mhm,
Right?
mhm.
Okay, Mr. Man Bill.
Allison, it's been
It's a
so much fun.
pleasure, such a pleasure to meet you. And I just thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for being you.
Thank you. Okay, it's a wrap.